Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading. We're going to get right into it. Well, I forgot the dice. We're going to get right into it, but let's do the dice first. All right, so we're beginning with what? Yes, romantic dinner, and buy shoes. Spirit says weekend away, cocktail, and email. But I don't know if you guys saw it. I also saw that it's 50-50 was staring me in the face. So it could go either way. You know, either one of us could initiate this email, perhaps. It's 50-50 can mean a lot of things. You know, balance, splitting, something down the middle, equity, equality. Okay, so now we're beginning with the Knight of Wands here. And he is very possibly an actual Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or even a Scorpio, okay, ruled by the planet Mars in part. That makes it, you know, that gives it its fire. And this may be somebody that you met at work or through your career, your business, whether they were a client, a co-worker, a vendor, you know, somebody at a party that was networking, something. And you may be taking action with regard to that person, or this could be like during this period is when you're going to meet somebody through your work, if you haven't met them already. So I was also, as I started to do this card fell away. So I was made to see that here was the Knight of Wands and here was the Page of Wands after I finished shuffling. So the pages are about messages, and wands, and knights rather, are about action for me. So the Page of Wands is often tied to something that we started a long time ago, and we're finally going to get to finish it. So it could be a relationship that started a long time ago. I'm thinking a long time on this plane, but long time ago could mean in a past life too. And maybe we hadn't met yet here, but we're going to very possibly through our work this week. It doesn't have to be through our work, but that's a real possibility. Other than that, this is Page brings news of opportunities in our lives. So it could be an opportunity to meet somebody in terms of love and relationship, or to deepen a commitment. And then this will be the knight who actually takes action and does one of those things. Okay, so now I'm also being shown the Nine of Cups rather, is right behind it. And this is a wish card. It is a yes from the Minor Arcana. If you have a yes or no question, particularly in love, the answer is yes. So maybe like it's 50-50, you might as well take your chances. And the answer is yes. That's another possibility too. Maybe with regard to sending an email. Should I send an email? Well, are they going to read it? Go either way. Try it. And then the answer is yes. So this is prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true. The nines, all of them have been showing up quite a bit during all the, in all the readings that I've done this weekend, which is a lot. I did a bulk of the zodiac readings, the monthly readings for the signs. I did a moon reading for today, and then the weekly love, the weekly general rather, and we're doing the weekly love now. And the nines have been coming up for everything. So this is prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true. Maybe with regard to bringing something back from our past, getting something, completing something that we started a long time ago. Maybe that's a relationship, all right? Maybe that's a job, and we have no idea that we're going to, find love there, or through that, or through whatever we're doing. But very possible. The wands are also about movement and travel, so that could be involved too. Maybe travel for work, or just travel in general. We also saw on the dice weekend away. So maybe, you go away for the weekend and then boom. Opening first to the Ace of Pentacles. So this is the fresh start. Again, maybe in work, and earning money in the material, but also possibly for relationships. And maybe because of Taurus, the Taurus full moon, it's showing up in the suit of Earth. Taurus full moon occurred today, Halloween. Knight of Wands. Major Arcana card 3. fertility, which is actually the Empress in this deck. And, it shows up very nicely with Cleopatra and Caesar, and she's pregnant here. That we can see, and they actually use a black Cleopatra, so that's nice for me too. I like that. In any case, of course, it is about fertility, whether that's literal for you or metaphoric in terms of your work, right? You're coming up with really your creative ideas, and you're getting into your passions, your creative outlets. You're making stuff, you're painting, you're drawing, you're making music, you're building, whatever it is. And this is also a good time to maybe get pregnant if you've been trying, or somebody could be learning that they are already pregnant, or something. This could be tied to like the mother of your child, or your own mother, if they are somehow involved in your life, or a mother figure. The Empress card represents the planet Venus and the sign of Taurus, as well as that of Libra and Gemini, which Venus also in part rules. Speaking of Gemini, Major Arcana card 1, the Magician, with Merlin appearing on the card here. Magician means we can bring about any and everything it is we've been wanting to accomplish and manifest. We have the capability of doing it. We just have to believe. It can also, from a negative aspect, have to do with something like toxic, or like a narcissist or something. I'm not getting that from this card in particular, but I'm mentioning it because I did get it in one of the other readings that I did. And now opening opposite, Major Arcana card, Death. It's called Transformation in this deck. It's Death in reverse. So there's a need to let go of something, or we have recently let go of something and we're moving into another place of transition. This guides you, if you haven't let go yet, not to hold on to the status quo, especially if you're dealing with something or someone toxic. Go ahead and let that go, release that, so that you can move on to better. Death represents the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio most directly. Scorpio is where the sun is currently, and also Taurus, where the full moon occurred today, is Scorpio's mirror sign, opposite axis. So that's another reason why I think all the Scorpio energy is showing up. And last but not least, I have opened to these have all been Major Arcana cards that I opened to, haven't they? With the exception of the Nine of Cups. This is the Devil. It's called Temptation in this deck. That card, Francesca and Paolo, if I'm remembering the mythology correctly, or the story correctly, Paolo fell in love with his brother's girlfriend, Francesca. I think that's what it was. And so that was the temptation. Like, they wanted to be together, but she was tied to his brother. And that brings us to the Knight of Cups. Again, very possibly a Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And since we also saw fertility in the Empress, and she was pregnant, and now this guy's holding a baby. A baby could be involved. Again, maybe somebody learns that they're pregnant this week, or somebody becomes pregnant this week, or if you've been wanting to become pregnant, this is the week it happens. Also, I think it was last week's reading, or maybe the week before, that I used this deck also, and I got vibes from the Knight of Cups that he needed to, that somebody, not necessarily a water sign, but of course very possibly, needed to let the person with whom he was dealing, so divine feminine, whether they are male or female or whatever it is, let them know that he had a baby, or he has a baby on the way or something. And that came up as a possibility in the moon reading as well. So that's going on with somebody. The card behind it is Major Arcana card Strength. So you have the ability to face any and everything that comes your way, even if it's a couple that is committed and you're learning this, that your mate is expecting a child on the outside or already has one that you didn't know about. This is something that you can get through one way or another. Like, you're going to be okay, whether that means you continue a relationship or you walk away. You have the strength to do either. Strength most directly represents the sign of Leo. You'll see strength showing up quite a bit in all of these readings as well. And then also upright behind that is the King of Cups. Again, a potentially Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He is generous, loving, romantic, emotionally balanced. Maybe he's what it's 50-50 is about, or one of the things it's about. He is somebody who is prepared to deal with his emotions on a particular situation, maybe, or in general, whenever he's balanced and healthy and toxic, as long as he's not upside down, he's ready to take these things on. And he could be somebody who's ready to, like, for love, risk it all. Like, say, look, I'm ready, and I don't care what happens to other stuff. So if there had been somebody who was blocked before, and they're like, well, I can't enter a relationship because of this, or I can't be with you because of this, or they ghosted and they didn't say anything because there was something that was keeping them from being in a relationship. The King of Cups can very well be somebody that's like, I don't care about any of that. I'm ready to risk it all for love. Also, speaking of risking it all, also upright is Major Arcana card 0. This is the Fool. It's called Innocence in this deck, but it's the Fool. And you see this guy is like wading through an ocean, a very unsettled ocean, angry ocean, walking through the waves, playing a flute, and wearing a blindfold. And he's, again, willing to risk it all, literally. So I think that this person is the King of Cups in this case. And he may be getting this willingness to take a risk from Aquarius. And you say, well, you haven't mentioned Aquarius. How do they fit in? Uranus, the planet that is located in the sign of Taurus and has been for quite some time and will be for quite some time. Taurus, where the full moon is, Uranus rules Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about freedom, taking risks, humanitarianism, like the greater good, our higher, selves, the higher good. If you belong in a spiritually based relationship, let's say, like with a soulmate or a twin flame or something, it could definitely be Uranus and the age of Aquarius, a sign of Aquarius that's pushing you toward that. And then the next card is in reverse. It is Illusion, which is the moon, of course. All right, that's how it looks when it's upright, the moon. It's called Illusion. Okay, so now I'm going to get the stance. And we're going to pull one card for each element that is specific to you for love. Beginning with fire and Aries, because that's with what the zodiac begins. Aries, your card is the Six of Coins, Six of Pentacles. Very nice. And this could definitely be tied to its 50-50. This is about the ability to both give and receive, and equity and equality, unconditional love. It's a beautiful card. It's one of my favorites, actually. And also, for me, representative of the planet Venus, which again rules Taurus, where the full moon is this week or today, where it occurred. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Your card is Desire. This is the Chariot. Major Arcana card 7 in reverse. Chariot in reverse. Maybe some stop and go stuff in your relationships. Could be a need to end a relationship. We'll take a closer look in a second. Air signs, my fellow air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our card is the Ten of Coins, also in reverse. Ten of Pentacles. Still positive, even in reverse. And last but not least, water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Fertility is back in reverse. Can we see all the cards, everything in frame? I'm going to put the Knight of Cups here. Already I'm wondering if somebody, a water sign, maybe a water sign female, or male or masculine. Maybe somebody is infertile, and this happens. There's a pregnancy. I guess on a more positive way to look at it, perspective, this could be using some sort of fertility mechanism, IVF, or a surrogate or adoption or something, maybe for somebody who is infertile. But the other side is what I already mentioned, the possibility of a mate having a child with somebody else, and how maybe devastating that might be for you because you are infertile. But again, we saw Major Arcana card Strength, and ironically, there's a big lion here on this card too. That Leo lion energy, saying that you again can face any and everything that comes your way, and you will make it through. All right, so we're going to start with the Knight of Cups, our overall energy. And, as I was saying, this is a very romantic card and positive card as it relates to love. If you're single, it could definitely be one of those cards that's about getting swept off your feet, If you're already in a relationship, then it signifies final commitment. So things like engagement, marriage, cohabitation, moving into together, which are other things that showed up in the moon reading that I did as well. And there was a lot of love and emotion in the general reading too, actually. And it means, like worst case scenario, kind of, it's like positive messages and positive energy surrounding you, things that you would like to hear, maybe apologies, maybe, I love yous, maybe both, maybe forgiveness. I forgive you. It's okay. Let it go. That's the past. These are all things that we would often like to hear. And you should be open to, examining, exploring, even like diving into your own feelings and not being afraid to be sort of vulnerable. And to feel. Again, for me, the Knight of Cups, I think I mentioned it already, but I'll just repeat. The Knight of Cups can often be somebody returning to your life too. And the Knight of Cups showed up in, I think, every reading that I've done. And now here we have him sort of doubled down with the King being not far behind. So that's very interesting. So with all that in mind, as well as the other cards with which we started, the Knight of Wands, too, which is very favorable for love and relationship. Keep that in mind, and we'll look at each element, beginning again with fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And your card, like I said, is one of my favorites in the entire deck. If you're already in a committed relationship, so this is a sign of being generous and fair and equitable and balanced and equal in our relationships. We can look forward to that, to being treated equally, mutual respect, mutual adoration, mutual love. And it's also guidance to allow a love interest or mate to give to us and not just us giving to them. It's about being able to give and receive, and love passing both ways. And a lot of us find it easy to give, but not so much to receive. And then we can get, we tend to get like upset about nobody ever gives me. And is it really that nobody's ever giving you, or that you've been blocked to receiving? And so sometimes we got to take a look at that. If we're single and looking, then this again shows up to say that we are very likely to meet somebody who is positive and kind and generous, maybe like a King of Cups also, with whom we can have some like a mutually reciprocal relationship. And we may meet them through somebody else that we know, whether that's at work, if you want to consider like all the cards we've seen together, whether that's at work or through work, a co-worker introducing you, that's a possibility. Or if this is somebody from your past, again, thinking about the Knight of Cups, who is often somebody from our past, it may be somebody that we met through someone at whether it was our work or whatever, already in our past, that's coming back into our life. So moving on to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, your card is the Chariot in reverse. And you may have met somebody, or you may meet somebody during this period that you feel is very like special, and there's a need, or sort of like a pulling at you to push hard, to get into a relationship, or somebody's doing that to you, or you feel a need to push hard to get out of a relationship. That's also a possibility. And whatever the case is, this card says that we should like seriously consider whichever one it is that we're feeling, instead of making sure that we're rushing. Like, this can be about trying to rush and not thinking, and that's not even you guys' style, right? Earth signs, you're very methodical, and there has to be a plan. So you're not meant to just rush to the end. You got to think it through and decide what it is you're going to do in order to take advantage of your own energy. And especially you Taurians out there, this moon is in your first house of self. So right now it is all about you, yourself, your ego, your confidence, everything, your drive, your image, whether that's like literally in terms of aesthetics and or like who you are as a person, your fiber, what you're putting out there. All of this is at stake for you right now with this Taurus full moon. And so you definitely want to think it through. And there's a reason why they say like good things come to those who wait. Like, you don't want to just rush into or out of something without making sure. So moving on to the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Again, our card is the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And this is still a very positive card as it relates to love, even though it's in reverse. But for some of us that are already in like long-time committed relationships or something, we could feel like we're sort of stuck in it and we're bored. And, in all fairness, particularly if you're a Gemini or an Aquarius, and especially if you're a Gemini, actually, that's one of our traits. Like, we get bored. Life has to remain exciting. And so you just might need to like take a new approach, use a new approach, start something new, try something new with your partner, do new and interesting things that may be hard in consideration of, the pandemic and the economy, perhaps, and, the election. There's things going on. There's going to be, or at least I've felt some sort of uprising, whether it's connected to the virus or to the election in the United States here, or both. I talked about it in a couple of other countries that are going back on lockdown. That could be what poses a problem. Germany, France, Great Britain, to my recollection. So it may not be so easy to get out and do new and interesting things, but try to bring back the spark if you're interested in keeping the relationship alive and communicating with each other. If you're single and looking, then it's definitely a time to like get out and meet people. And again, that may be hard. So maybe you got to do it a new way. Maybe you have to take advantage of the energy of Uranus and of Aquarius, and maybe try online dating, or communicating with someone, or several someones or whatever, with whom or in whom you're interested, or that are interested in you, through FaceTime and texting and calling, and rather than maybe going out, let's try something different. And you're very likely your energy is gonna come through. Your positivity and your charisma and your character, all that's gonna come through, even if it's through some sort of technological means that you're contacting people. People are also naturally attracted to you right now. So it's a really good time. And speaking of people being naturally attracted to you, that's a nice segue into the water signs and major arcana card 3, fertility. Albeit in reverse, you could find yourself being pursued by several, prospective love interests. This week you are extremely attractive right now. This week, if you're in a committed relationship already, then it reminds you to pay particular attention to your intuition, women's intuition, a mother knows, that kind of stuff, about the relationship. So again, if you need guidance in the relationship, what should I do? Should I leave? Should I stay? Do I trust her? Do I trust him? Can I do this? Am I strong enough? Pay attention to your intuition in order to figure that out, and follow your heart. If you do not, you will regret it one day. You will live to regret it, and that's not something that you want to do. If it's like, say, my friends say he's broke, or my friends say she's fat. Oh, my friends say he's, corny, lame, ugly. Oh, well, my friends say she's, a prude, or she has an attitude problem, or whatever. All of these things could be true. If you feel like, if you follow that, right, those kind of thoughts, or something intellectual, or even logic, doesn't make sense. We don't make sense together. He's tall, I'm short, he's fat, I'm skinny, he's Jewish, I'm Muslim, whatever. If we try to do it that way and use logic to decide whether we should be together or not, rather than what our heart is telling us to do, like, I don't care about any of that, I want to be with this person, or I don't care about any of that, I want to get away from this person, I don't want to be in this relationship, we will live to regret it. Now I'm going to clarify these cards a little bit further with another deck that I pulled out that I meant to use for the love reading. I shuffled it for the love reading. I mean, not for the love reading. This is the love reading. For the moon reading. And I, finished the moon reading, ended it, and then noticed that they were still laying here and I had not used them. So I said, okay, maybe I need to use them for the love reading then. So here, beginning with this card called Feeling Alone. And it could be talking about any number of these, right, emotions, and needing to decide like how we feel about a particular thing. Like for the fire signs, this is about getting into a relationship that is, again, reciprocal, or improving an existing one and having it to become reciprocal, rather than one person doing everything and the other person not, or and that sort of thing. For the earth signs, it's about making a plan. If I want to get into a situation, or I want to get out of a situation, right, I don't have to stay like this, feeling alone. And we see there's the moon out there. And this is actually, for this deck, I believe this is the suit of Earth, even though it's a red border. So this is very Taurus full moon with which we're starting. Fives are also about change. So, change is coming. And it seems like we have to maybe figure it out, give it a little guidance. Air signs, again, are we bored with the relationship? Are we over the relationship? Do we want to start new stuff to bring back the spark because we're still in love? That's what we got to figure out here. And then last but not least, with the water signs, again, it sounds like you guys may have a decision to make. You got a lot of suitors. Who am I interested in, if any? Do I want to narrow it down to one? Do I not want any of them? Or there's something going on in my relationship. Do I want to stay in it? Do I want to leave it? And there's something I got to figure out on my own, maybe. So it's called Feeling Alone. Like I said, I think I remember the red border being the Suit of Pentacles, which would make sense because the Five of Pentacles is that card that's about feeling like left out in the cold, alone, and no one to turn to or nowhere to turn, and maybe but inward to yourself to figuring it out. And then opening to Joy and Stability. And I think that is what all of these cards ultimately talked about, like, in different ways, but it's about figuring something out because you're following your heart. You're going to what's going to make you feel joyous, what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you feel good and content, and maybe stable. Very Four of Wands. Base chakra, which is also known as the root chakra. It's basically the one it's like the main one that controls us, like all down our spine. The spine is, the brain all the way down your back. So this is like what holds us up, right? What keeps us going. I think, if I remember correctly, this is Archangel Michael's chakra that he rules. So people that are into that sort of thing, they want to work with or through him, and others on some sort of base chakra healing or clearing. And the next card is in reverse. It is Choose Your Battles. So very Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. And look at that. Back to the Feeling Alone card with which we started. And Love Abounds. As it looks, it's like a big Ace of Cups kind of card. About being surrounded by love and emotionally fulfilled and content. Dedicated effort. Eight of Pentacles. Where we put our work, where we do the work, and where we put our energy is from where we can expect an outcome. I'm going to cut on that note. Wow. Look at this overall energy. Can you tell what this is? It's called nurture, sure. But this is another Empress. And it's perfect for this reading because, again, this week, the big transit, the huge focus is the Taurus full moon, which, hasn't fallen on Halloween since 1944. And, is, again, also considered rare because on this day, or this moon, in exact conjunction with the planet Uranus, and also a mini moon as opposed to a super moon, and a blue moon because we experienced 2 full moons during the month of October. So much magic with this moon, and the Empress has continued to show up. This is Venus. She's currently located in Libra. She's bringing balance and reciprocity and equality and equity and healing in terms of working things out, like justice, to our relationships. And the next card is another 8 of Cups. So moving from something or towards something or both. 7 of Pentacles. We've already done the work. We've, made a plan. We figured it out. And now we just let things play out, happen. Crown Chakra. Logic. Thinking. This is air energy, very much so. Actually, I think the crown chakra is Michael as well. And then here's a nice 2 of Cups. It is in reverse, so the next card is upside down, but it's the 2 of Cups. All right, so I'm going to pull one, again, for each element, beginning with fire. So atop the 6 of Pentacles is the 6 of Swords. Believe and succeed. And this is about moving into, again, better energy. So maybe you hadn't been experiencing balance and reciprocity and equality and equity in your relationships before. And that's what we're moving toward. Could involve actual travel, a movement too, and maybe still be connected again to that Knight of Wands, which I said that Wands are about movement and travel. The Knight and the Page of Wands that we started with. For the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, your card is Just Breathe 4. I think this is the 4 of... Is this the 4 of Swords? I think it might be the 4 of Swords. But this is Swords, as far as I remember too, and this is purple. Whichever one it is. We can see it's full of air. That's probably why I'm thinking that it's the 4 of Swords. And it's also like with this mirror image. So it's very Gemini to me. And that may be what I'm thinking also. But Just Breathe is saying like to relax and to not like get into your head too much. And that could definitely be, what the 4 of Swords is about. But again, the sword, it doesn't matter about the suit. But the actual 4 of Swords is about rest and relaxation and recovery and restoration. And I think that that's what this one is guiding us toward as well. Air signs rather. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our card is... It's another 3, first of all. So could involve some sort of party of 3. As I like to call it, some sort of third energy in addition to ourselves and or that of our romantic interest, a partner, or somebody to whom we are energetically connected, even if we haven't met them yet. Solar plexus chakra is like your abdomen. All right, and you know how you get butterflies in your stomach, or you get a sinking feeling in your stomach if something's wrong? Many people believe the soul is actually located in the stomach, and our intuition can be blocked. Other areas, like we can even physically begin to get like a distended stomach, or gain weight, or maybe lose too much weight or something if the solar plexus chakra is not balanced and healthy. So this is an area in which we want to look. Okay, we may be dealing with some sort of stomach issue, and or have a need to heal or clear this chakra. And lastly, for the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, your card is Major Arcana card 4, Lead. This is the Emperor, representative of the planet Mars, ruler again in part of the sign of Scorpio, and ruler of the sign of Aries, fire sign Aries. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, when we saw the Knight of Wands, I said, I don't know, I'm just feeling like this could also apply to Scorpio. There may be some connection between a Scorpio and an Aries, in addition to the fact that they share a ruler in Mars. Whatever the case is, we have the Emperor and the Empress here for the water signs. This is a father figure. Again, this could be the masculine becoming or having become a literal father. And this is tied to, this baby or child or situation. And or this is also about taking charge of your life, taking back control, and again, leading your life as you choose based on your own inclinations and gut feelings and what's in your heart to do, as opposed to maybe what's written on this paper, and what society or friends or family would otherwise have you do. Like what the rules say, you have to do this. This is like, to heck with the rules. Give me the rules, and then I'll let you know what it is I'm going to do. Hope you guys have enjoyed the love reading this week. Do like, share, subscribe, comment. If subscribing, please hit both the subscribe button and the bell button in hopes that you receive your notifications. Anybody wants to ask me anything or whatever, I try to answer all of my comments. I really do. And, it's free. It's free to do that. Yeah, I don't charge people to talk to me, but, especially not that way. I'm happy to answer questions or to chat or whatever. And I'll be back with, like I said, a lot of other readings. Check out your zodiac reading, sun, moon, rising. Check out the general. Check out the moon reading. And then I'll see you again soon. Namaste.